On a damp November morning in 2013, the quiet outskirts of a rural Pennsylvania town became the stage for a gruesome discovery. Two locals stumbled upon a motionless figure lying face down in the dirt along a back road. The man was lifeless, his clothes drenched in blood, surrounded by scattered personal items. Among them, a cell phone's screen glowed faintly, as if it had been used moments before. Emergency responders arrived quickly, but the scene told a grim story: multiple injuries, signs of a struggle, and wounds that suggested a deliberate, vicious attack. This was no accident, it was a calculated act of violence. The crime scene: the body bore marks of a brutal assault. The absence of a vehicle or clear tire tracks, coupled with faint footprints leading back to the road, hinted at a carefully chosen location. The sparse population and bleak, rainy weather ensured no witnesses. The victim's phone, still unlocked, revealed 3 calls from the previous night, 2 incoming, 1 outgoing. The last number dialed wasn't saved in the contacts, raising immediate questions. With no name, no backstory, and no clear motive, investigators faced a chilling mystery. The victim's identity was confirmed within an hour, but his name was withheld from the media. What was clear, however, was the premeditated nature of the crime. This was no random act. The victim had been targeted. A troubled past in North Pole. The roots of this tragedy trace back thousands of miles to North Pole, Alaska, a small town founded in the 1940s as a festive marketing gimmick. With candy cane-shaped lamp posts and fairy tale-like houses, North Pole projects a cheerful facade. But its harsh winters, plunging below -60 degrees Fahrenheit, and its isolation create a stark contrast to its whimsical image. Fewer than 3,000 people call it home, and beneath its surface lies a sense of disconnection from the outside world. In 1994, Miranda Barber was born here. Raised by her single mother, Elizabeth, alongside her older sister, Ashley, Miranda faced challenges early on. Diagnosed with a congenital hip disorder, she endured pain and mobility issues, wearing a corrective brace for 2 years. The family later relocated closer to Elizabeth's relatives, where Miranda and Ashley, then 5 and 6, spent time at their sister's husband Richard's home. What seemed like a safe haven turned into a nightmare. Richard, outwardly polite, subjected the girls to years of mistreatment when alone with them. He used fear, threats, and manipulation to silence them. The abuse continued until Ashley found the courage to speak out. Elizabeth acted swiftly, reporting Richard to the authorities. A search of his home uncovered a disturbing notebook filled with detailed entries, resembling a manual for his actions. Convicted and sentenced to 19 years, Richard was released early but reoffended, landing back in prison. The trauma, however, lingered. Miranda grew distant and anxious, while Elizabeth's struggles with alcohol and substances deepened, eroding her ability to care for her daughters. Financial strain and emotional instability pushed the family into a slow decline. A descent into chaos. At 9, Miranda and her family left North Pole for a fresh start, but the past clung to them. Ashley distanced herself through school and work, while Miranda withdrew, becoming moody and unpredictable. By 12, she fell in with an older crowd, engaging in heavy drinking, smoking, and substance use. Her behavior spiraled. School suspensions, combative outbursts, and academic failure followed. She began mentioning a man named Forrest, claiming he led a group involved in dark, ritualistic practices. Miranda told her mother she had participated in ceremonies and belonged to Forrest. Elizabeth tried to intervene, banning contact, but Miranda ran away. Authorities found no evidence of Forrest or the group, and some suggested Miranda fabricated stories for attention. To her, though, the tales felt real, marking a darker shift in her behavior. By 14, Miranda's volatility intensified. She attempted self-harm, leading to a brief stay in a psychiatric facility. Diagnosed with depressive disorder, she was prescribed medication, but no long-term support followed. Back in an unstable home, with her mother battling dependency and her sister focused elsewhere, Miranda stopped attending school. She drifted into risky social circles, using substances and staying away from home for days. At 17, she became pregnant, unsure of the father. Despite her chaotic life, she chose to carry the pregnancy, giving birth to a daughter, Arya. The family's situation worsened, and social services intervened, placing Miranda and Arya with relatives in North Carolina. A new chapter, a darker bond in North Carolina. Miranda and Arya lived with distant relatives in a more stable environment, but Miranda felt disconnected. There, she met Elite Barber, a 20-year-old with a fascination for unconventional beliefs, religious cults, rituals, and symbols. Their connection was immediate, fueled by shared interests in dark themes. Elite was in a relationship with Amy, who was expecting his child, but Miranda's presence shifted dynamics. Amy, seeking stability, left with their baby after its birth. Elite and Miranda grew closer, their conversations about power, sacrifice, and control becoming more intense and personal. The couple married in a quiet ceremony, shunned by family who disapproved of their lifestyle, marked by substance use and an obsession with dark ideologies. They saw themselves as outsiders, making decisions together with little regard for others. Seeking escape, they moved to Port Trevorton, Pennsylvania, a remote town of fewer than 500 residents. Staying rent-free with a friend, they struggled financially. Elite's job searches failed, and Miranda turned to an online classified site, advertising herself as a companion for social outings, explicitly avoiding intimate services. The fatal plan. A man named Troy LaFerrara, 42, responded to Miranda's ad. A married tech engineer with no criminal record, Troy led a double life, secretly arranging meetups with women online. His substantial payment offer caught Miranda's attention, not for companionship but for an opportunity. She and Elite devised a plan, seeing Troy as a target. On November 11, 2013, Troy met Miranda in a shopping center parking lot. He entered her car, unaware that Elite was hidden in the trunk. They drove to a secluded rural road. Miranda gave the signal, "Did you see the stars tonight?" And Elite attacked, strangling Troy with electrical wire. Troy fought back, opening the car door, but Miranda stabbed him repeatedly, landing 20 blows. He died at the scene. They drove off with the body, later dumping it in a roadside ditch along with his wallet, cash, and watch, leaving his phone behind. Using Troy's money, they bought cleaning supplies at Walmart, scrubbed the car, and celebrated Elite's birthday at an upscale restaurant. The next morning, they resumed their routine, showing no signs of guilt. The investigation and confessions. Troy's body was found early the next day, his phone providing the first lead. A number traced to Miranda led detectives to her. Initially, she denied knowing Troy, but her demeanor shifted when asked for her phone, refusing without a warrant. Shaken, she confessed to a friend, who urged her to turn herself in. At 4 a.m., Miranda returned to the police, claiming self-defense, alleging Troy became aggressive. Her story omitted Elite and the wire, but the evidence, strangulation marks, multiple wounds, and signs of a second person, contradicted her. Elite was questioned next. Calm and composed, he denied involvement until confronted with surveillance footage showing him entering Miranda's car. He admitted to the plan, describing their mutual decision to kill Troy. His detached tone unnerved investigators. Both were arrested, their confessions and evidence pointing to premeditated murder. A shocking claim. While in jail, Miranda contacted a journalist, claiming she had killed 22 others. The sensational claim sparked headlines, but no evidence supported it. Authorities investigated but found no bodies or missing persons linked to her. Her family dismissed the story, citing her history of fabrication. Elite, however, believed her, describing a super Miranda persona, an inner demon that terrified him. He claimed she became someone else when discussing her alleged crimes. The trial and aftermath. The trial was subdued, with no emotional outbursts. Miranda and Elite were sentenced to life without parole. Months later, Elizabeth died of an overdose, overwhelmed by her daughter's actions and public disgrace. Arya, Miranda's daughter, was placed in state custody with her last name changed for safety. Her whereabouts remain unknown. This case, marked by trauma, manipulation, and cold-blooded murder, reveals the devastating impact of untreated pain and isolation. Miranda and Elite's descent into crime was not sudden but a culmination of broken systems and unhealed wounds, leaving a trail of destruction that shattered